Makeup is changing yet again. I feel like it changes really fast in this day and age. I want to go over some fall trends today. Now, even if you aren't a trends person, which I am not, I still like to stay on top of what the trends are because I may find something that will work for me. So let me know in the comments throughout this video what trend you are going to try. So let's start with number 1, glazed black cherry lips. Now, a while ago on TikTok, this was called the cherry cola lip. Basically, this is a red-based berry lip with a very glossy finish. So as you can see by some of these videos here, it's very juicy, it's very glossy. That's why they call it cherry cola lips, because it has that very deep berry vibe, which is perfect for fall. It's definitely coming back this season, I think, with a nice vampy lip liner, something kind of dark, but again, very, very glossy, deep berry look. Now, the glazed black cherry lips is so easy. You're just gonna take a berry liner like this, and I'll list everything below if you guys want, but just a berry liner. And then I have the Chanel lipstick right here. I want to show you kind of what we're looking for. Do you see how it's a plum color? It's like a black cherry, but this has a lot of shine to it. And then we're going to put a gloss on top as well. This is such a pretty color. So there's that. Now, even though this is glossy, I'm going to put more gloss on top because the whole trend of this is like super, super glossy lips. I'm going to take a red lip gloss like this. This is a Fenty one, and put this on top. And do you see how beautiful that is? You can go, this is a little bit more purpley. You can go a little bit more reddish plum, whatever you prefer. But the idea is to have just a nice, rich, juicy plum with a ton of gloss on top. So it's a very glazed effect. The next trend we have is blush sculpting. Now, this isn't like, if you're old enough to remember the 80s draping where you had that bright color that came across the cheek, this isn't that. This is almost like blush that's doing double duty. It's not bronzing, it's not just blush. It's like the two had a baby, and that's what I call it blush touring, but in magazines are calling it blush sculpting. Basically, you're going to take a deeper blush color, something that's kind of a tawny color, so it has a little bit of a bronzed vibe, but it's still a blush. You're going to place it under the cheekbones, bring it up a little bit higher across the temple. It's going to give you the 2-in-1 type product. So for me, I love this trend. I would definitely wear this one because I'm tired of doing all these extra steps in makeup. So if I could cut out bronzing altogether and just do blush sculpting, that would save me time and money. Now, the technique for this is super easy, y'all. You just want to choose a tawny blush. This is the MAC blush in Gingerly. Something that's almost like a bronzer and a blush had a baby. Do you see the color how it's kind of like a tawny rose? I'm just going to take a brush like this, and we're going to apply it almost as bronzer. So I'm going to come here on the cheek, and I'm going to place it where I normally would a bronzer. And then what's left on the brush, I cannot talk today, we're going to come up just a little bit. And it really is that easy. So I'm not going to apply bronzer. I'm not going to do contouring. I'm just applying this kind of tawny blush little bit down lower, and then I'm going to come up onto the cheek so it gives me that nice kind of gradient effect. Do you see how very soft and natural it is? It kind of gives me that 90s vibe. Next one we have is frosted lips. Now, I know my 80s gals, they are loving this trend because that was so huge in the 80s and it's making a comeback. Now, for me personally, it's not my favorite trend, but I still do see value in it. I think it can be a really cool look. So we're definitely seeing a comeback of the 80s makeup where we're seeing like some soft blue eyeshadows, but for fall especially, we're seeing some shimmery lip. This is Pamela Anderson, like early 90s. That's what I feel like with this here frosty pink. Now, I personally would not wear the frosty pink myself. Maybe the kind of nudie frosty color, but it definitely is on trend. So if you liked that from a long time ago, it is back and roaring. Pull out those frosty lipsticks. Frosted lips is actually easy to do, but I want to show you one of the favorite ones that I do like, even though I'm not a frosty lip person. It's the Caramel Latte by L'Oreal. So let me just put that on so you can see. I feel like this one to me is more wearable than some of the other ones. Like I've seen some super metallic lips and things like that, which is fine. But for every day, if you're going to do a frosty, try to do a nude. Please don't do a pink frosty lip. It is very dated. But if you do like a nude frosty like this, I feel like it's a modern take on it that's a little bit more wearable. Next trend we have for this fall is minimal grunge makeup. Now, we are not going full glam, full grunge with like super dark black eyeshadows, black lips, things like that. It's kind of a modern take on this. This is an ode to the 90s. 80s and 90s makeups right now has been in trend for quite a bit. It's still staying strong, but the minimal grunge makeup is smudge black liner or dark gray, you know, kind of a brown tinted lipstick. It's meant to have that kind of edgy, rebellious vibe, or almost like I slept in this makeup look. Like I woke up and I just look glamorous with that kind of sexy smoker type of vibe. That's what the minimal grunge makeup is. Minimal grunge makeup, making it wearable, is so easy. I'll just take a black eyeliner. We're going to run this along the lash line. Let me get my mirror here. And I like to stay on the outer part of the eye. And don't worry if it's not perfect, because the whole point of grunge is to look a little bit messy and worn in, you know, so don't be perfect. It's okay. And then just take a really, really tiny brush like this, and we're just gonna smudge it out. This is just gonna give us a good base along that lash line. Then you can take any sort of cool tone eyeshadows. That to me gives more of a grungy vibe versus the warm tones. I'm going to take a brush like this. This is the Refer 13 brush. I like going in with a gray color. For me, it just always gives me that kind of grungy vibe. And you're going to start at that baseline and just swipe it out a little bit. Then you're going to come upwards. Just like that. Then you can take that same brush and go in with something a little bit lighter just to kind of transition it. So you really just need a couple shadows, you all. Grunge makeup is meant to be very minimal, very easy. And then you can just come up here and just dust it across the lid and in the crease. And that's honestly it. It's just super minimal. If you want to kind of smudge something under here, you can. I'll show you that in a second. You see how I'm just keeping it not perfect and it's a little bit messy, a little bit kind of smudged out. Smudge this out too. So at most, just a few shadows. Let me put on my mascara so you can see what it looks like. Okay, do you see how super minimal grunge it is? It's literally just smoked out eyeliner, a little bit of gray in there. That's minimal grunge. I feel like is more wearable for the everyday person. Next fall trend we have is Sateen Skin. Now this is not matte. It is not dewy. We have seen dewy, glossy, glassy for a long time. We are tired of that. Some people aren't quite ready for the full matte vibe, so now we're seeing a sateen skin, and that's basically like a soft matte. It's matte, but it has a little bit of a sheen to it, so it looks like skin. It's very wearable. Now for Sateen Skin, the application, you all, is truly just to choose a satin foundation. Nothing too matte, nothing too dewy. If you feel like once you powdered and you're like, oh, I really want that sateen look, it still looks a little bit matte, I've got a trick for you. Take a dewy foundation, put a drop on your hand, pick up a little bit on your sponge, and just gently tap this, even though you may have put your powder down, and you have to do a patting motion, y'all. Don't do like swiping. You want it to be very, very gentle because you don't want it to interrupt the powder underneath. You basically just want to add that slight sheen on top of the powder. This isn't going to break the powder down. It's just going to give a tiniest bit of luminosity. I don't know if y'all can see how matte this is because I powdered it down. This side, look, with just a tiniest bit of dewy foundation on top. Do you see how it's sateen? It's not dewy glowy, it's not matte, it's kind of in between. It just really looks like skin. So there's my trick for you. If you want that sateen skin trend for this fall, and you're like, oh, I powdered it too much, get a little dewy foundation, tiniest bit, tap, 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 good to go. Next trend we've seen for quite a bit this year, and that is the Rosey Undereye. Everyone has come out with the pink powders, like Huda Beauty has one, One Size has one. Everyone has the light pink powders. This is a continuation. I wouldn't say it's a brand new trend, but it's definitely staying strong for fall. And that's basically a bright pink under eye. Now, I've tried this myself. I look okay in it, but I feel like a lot of people couldn't pull this off, especially if you have super warm skin. So just be mindful of that. If you have cool or neutral undertones, I think this would be great for you, but it's definitely a hot trend having that really bright pink powder here under the eye. I don't understand the trend. I can appreciate it and I'll try it. Is it my favorite one? No, but I still do think it's interesting. Now the Rosey Eye is super easy as well. You're just gonna take a pink powder like this one. I have the Huda Beauty one. And you're just gonna apply this here under the eyes. Now some people like doing a really bright one. I am at the age where really bright does not work for me. So we're gonna do just a light one. And basically you're just gonna take that kind of pink powder and use it under here, under the eyes to set. And it's going to give you that kind of pink under eye. On camera, it doesn't look really pink, you all, because I chose a very light pink color. If you want to go bolder with it, you can. But for me to be wearable, I'm going to stick with a light pink color. Next trend we have is Glam Revival. Now this is not our glam for 2016. The 2016s are not coming back. I've seen so many people on TikTok trying. They're like, 2016 makeup, it's not coming back. I'm sorry. There's going to be variations of it. And that's what this makeup is. It is soft glam. So we're going to start seeing more colorful eyeshadows, more unique textures with duochromes and shimmers. We're going to see just more makeup applied than the clean girl look that we've seen for the last 5+ years. So colorful and more makeup is coming back. Is it going to be the super cut crease, carved contouring Instagram brows? No, it's going to be a softer variation of that where it's still glam, but it's a little bit more refined, more wearable, but still having fun with colors, textures, and more makeup than what we've been wearing in the last several years. Now for Glam Revival, you all, it's super easy. You can just take a grunge look like this where you just have some shadows smoked out and then just take a shimmer of some sort. This is the In the Nude palette by Natasha Denona. I really love this kind of shimmer here. And you can just tap it on. So what we're seeing with the Glam Revival is we're seeing some iridescence, some duochrome, some shimmers. It's not super rainbow colors and a lot of super out there type of glam. It's almost like soft, elegant glam. So do you see how this feels very glamorous? It's sparkly, but it's still chic. It's neutral colors. That's kind of what we're seeing right now is we're introducing more eyeshadows where the last several years it was very clean and not a lot of eyeshadows, but now we're bringing them in with interesting textures, but not so intense over the top like what we saw 10 years ago. So let me know in the comments below which makeup trend you would try. I know which ones are my favorites. I love just trying new things to get me to step out of my makeup box. So let's have fun with makeup, you all. I'll see you next week for another makeup video.